We're at 16055 Meadow Crest Road in Sherman Oaks, California, performing a video sewer inspection from the rear cleanout by the air conditioning condensers. And we're going to attempt to run out to the city sewer and inspect the line. And here are the air conditioning condensers, which are on the side of the house. And we're going to run through this 4-inch main line cleanout to take a look. We have a pretty large separation right here, right at the bottom of the cleanout. Separation and an offset right there. And then we also have a crack and a break in the bottom of this fitting. And we also have another offset right here at this point. We'll check this for depth right here. area. We have a couple of offsets and a couple of separations right here. So we've marked this one area. And then we have another joint as well, where we have fairly heavy root intrusion. I'm going to pull our camera back for just a minute. Try and just wipe off our lens a little bit. I'm going to go back down in the line. A fairly heavy root intrusion and a break in the clay right here as well. We're going to mark this area out. We've marked this area out, and it is approximately about 4 to 5 feet away from the mainline cleanout. And now we're going to run through here and take a look. And that joint doesn't look too bad. And that joint doesn't look too bad. Oh. And we have a major here. We have a major joint right at this point that is just completely and totally obstructed. And we're going to locate this area. mark this area out. It is right outside the brown fence that we're next to, but in the front yard area. So now we're going to try and run through here. If we can get through, and we can get underneath it. Going to run some water because we won't be able to see anything until we flush it out. Need to be able to flush this out so we can see when we get past here. Major root intrusion there. And now we're going to stop and we're going to go further. See how many bad joints we have along the way. And now we have another bad joint right here. We'll get past that. And we have another offset that's holding water and separated as well right there. Let's try and 5 feet. We're going to pull back and try and run the cable again. Try and run the camera so hopefully we can see a little bit better. We're getting so much debris on the camera, very difficult to see. There's our first joint that's cracked and broken past our clean out area. That joint didn't look too bad. That joint is cracked. At the bottom you can see the crack in the pipe. And then we're coming up on our area that's pretty bad. Pretty large root intrusion. Now we have another one that's further ahead. It's holding back water. Then we have another offset. And that joint appears to be cracked down at the bottom, around the ridge of the bottom. And then we have another pretty good break. This is a substantial break in this piece of line all the way around the bottom. And it's actually separated. When you pull back a little bit, you can see it where it's separated. And the face of the pipe up toward the top, up toward about the 3 o'clock area, is cracked. And then this has a very large break. You can see that crack going all the way up around the top of the pipe inside. And it's shifted and offset as well. And then we have another pretty substantial offset again. And see it's cracked at the top again. They're shifting and just breaking. The hubs of the pipe are breaking and the piece of the pipe are breaking as they shift. That's another offset. We're getting a lot of debris on the camera lens again, so it's difficult to see it, but we're going to try and flush it out and you can see a little bit better. And it's at 51 feet. And it's difficult to see with all the debris on the camera lens. And we have another large offset. You see where it's holding back water right here. And we have another offset. And that pipe is broken and cracked all the way around to the top right. You see the face of it where it's splitting and it's cracked. and it's also offset. It doesn't look too bad, a little bit of an offset, but not terrible. Joint's not too bad there. Then you have another heavy root intrusion right here. Can't see the condition of the pipe that well because of the debris on the camera lens. Then you have another, and this is broken pretty bad right here. You see it to the right. You can see the crack in the pipe all the way back up here to the right. That's a very large root intrusion coming in. And then you have the root intrusion here as well. And I think this is coming from the... We're going to run some water from the house to see if that's the transition where it's coming in. But that's about 75, 80 feet, so we'll come back to that. Let's take a look at the rest of it. There's more cracked pipe all the way around. You can see the cracks at the bottom, and they go all the way around that pipe. I'm going to come back. Can't tell for sure, right? It's just difficult. There's water going out. I'm going to locate this area real quick right here. Try and see where we're at. We're kind of, the pipe is kind of going downward. Difficult to tell exactly where we're at. I'm going to mark it right here. Go mark this area. And then we'll run water from the front of the house. Okay, we've marked this area out. Down by the driveway apron. This is by the driveway apron. As you're looking at the house, it would be on the left-hand driveway area. Now we're going to try and run into the street and see what we've also got. We've got more joints here. Got quite a few. That's substantial root intrusion again. Right there in an offset separation. More roots and what appears to be a crack all the way around the bottom. And there's pretty heavy root intrusion as well. Trying to get through this area. There's more root intrusion down out toward the street. And then you got more root intrusion going into the street. And you got pretty heavy root intrusion right here going into the street as well. And there's a crack, there's a break all the way around. We can see right here. Yeah, on the right hand side you can see it where it's cracked and broken. I'm going to try and wash this camera lens off when we get in the city sewer. And there's a pretty bad offset as well. Right there. And heavy root intrusion. Get down into the city sewer. And we're in the city sewer right here. We're into the drop right there. Water to really wash it off real well. And there's root intrusion in the 6-inch saddle right there as well. See if we can run enough water, wash this camera off, and we can pull back and show the condition of the pipe. back so fast. But they don't go back within a week or two. This has only been, what, a couple weeks since they were here? Okay.
It was end of August.
Okay. Okay, end of August even. They don't go back that fast. Okay. I just want you to see. Do me a favor. Stand on this side for me, because I don't want this thing to splash over here. It won't, as long as you're standing on this side. This now is out by the, all the way in the street, and you got a little bit of cracks. You got some cracks in here, and a little bit of separation. Not too terrible out by the city sewer. It's when we come back. That one, minor. Not too bad again. This one, pretty heavy. And see this big old separation in there? See the water sitting in there? A lot of the water is going down in the street. It's undermining right now. You see we're just sitting.
Is this here?
It's over here, by that far driveway.
Yeah.
What it does is it goes this way, so I've got this mark, then it goes out by that corner post where the V hits, and then it goes out toward that driveway. And then it picks up that other clean out, comes into it that way.
This is under the concrete?
Underneath the driveway. Under the whole driveway. But the whole thing is, nowadays you don't have to break up, you have to break up a small hole in the driveway where the two lines tie in and where you would need to tie in the 4 to 6 transition, which goes out to the city sewer. But that's got a large offset and a lot of root intrusion. It seems like almost every joint. This one too, you got root intrusion in that joint, but that one's minor, a little bit of an offset, but not terrible. This one, a whole lot more. A whole lot more root intrusion than that one. But still, not even that bad. It's more the offsets and the separations. Another separation, another offset. You'll see that here, in a good joint, you don't see the face of the pipe. It's pretty smooth all the way around. You got roots all the way back here. Come back, a little bit of an offset there, and it's broken. You see this crack side there?
Yeah.
That's a crack all the way around. You've got several of them. This one, see all the roots? These are roots growing into the side of the fitting. Those are coming from the other cleanout. Those are coming from that line. For two, and I'll show you. But this is like a Y branch fitting. The fitting will sit. Here's the straight part that we're looking at. Here's the other line coming from the cleanout this way, and they're growing in from back here. They're growing into that line, which is common too. They get into fit. They separate. They crack. We get earth movement especially. You get earthquakes, and they bounce, and the fittings crack, and the pipe cracks. So that's that one. Another offset, but not too bad. Then you come back. You have more root intrusion into that joint, and that's pretty heavy coming in. That's another tie-in. I don't know, coming maybe from the kitchen area, but we can see from the other side. We can see better. And we come back more in that joint. That one's not too bad. That's probably one of the better ones. You don't see that much of the face of the pipe. It's a little bit offset, so that's not bad at all. It's pretty good, in fact. That one, just a little bit of an tiny bit. There. You got a few joints that don't look too bad right here. It's coming back a little bit more. This one, see, it's holding water. It's holding water. It's offset. That one's not broken though. I had some broken joints back here more.
You're coming closer.
That one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. Yeah, I'm out. Right now I'm at 55 feet. So I'm toward the middle of the driveway area. That joint looked pretty good. That one was pretty flush. That joint's not too bad as well. You got quite ones. That one's really offset. See how it's holding water at the bottom? It's holding that water right there, and it's offset. And it's cracked up to where the joint is, and then inside the joint, that's a crack all the way along the top. But that one right now, you don't have really heavy roots coming in. This one as well, when they bounce with earth movement, it just shifts and it'll crack. It's old clay,
So
though.
that's
This stuff is original.
to be expected,
Yes,
right?
that's original. And that's where the roots start getting in. That one is really... This one is more of a main concern. You see where the line... But can you see where it's shifted? Where it's actually... It's cracked, but it's starting to come apart. If that comes apart, then what happens is the sewer drops. The sewer just... It severs at that point. And it's cracked right here, right on the face of it. You can see where it's broken right here. It's a couple breaks, and then this piece is shifted. So this is the hub. What it is, you have a round piece of pipe, and then it goes into a bell piece, and they pack concrete around it. And concrete deteriorates. So once it deteriorates, starts to fall out, the roots start to grow in because the water starts leaking. Then it has room to bounce. When it starts bouncing, then it starts breaking. Those other breaks they start like that, and then they become like this. And then they'll just shift at that point. Even that one's bad. I think that are even worse. This one, you got some separation and offset here. That one, you got some crack, you got root intrusion in that one. And then this one's really heavy. That one's real heavy.
Oh my goodness.
You've only got maybe, see the opening at the bottom?
Yeah.
You've got and this is right there, right on the other side of that post that I marked out. And that's cracked right inside as well, down at the bottom.
Those are roots?
Yeah, those are tree roots.
Didn't they
See
clean
this?
it?
That's what I'm saying. They were just out here. They can't grow back this fast. They can't. It takes usually at least 3 months. It takes about 3 to 4 months for them to grow back. If they're really aggressive, and if we're in a drought. If we're not in a drought, they're not going to seek the water as much as what they are right now.
See, they snaked in May, and then supposedly they snaked again in August.
Snake in May, so it's
Because I had a
5
big
to 8.
party.
That's 3 months. But still, even August, September, and we're just into October.
Yeah, it couldn't be.
There's no way. They ran real tiny blades, and punch a little hole through it. They didn't try to run big 4-inch blades that you can get through here and try to clean it out real well. But that's right on the other side of the post. And then that one's offset, and it's cracked right inside as well. There's so many of them that are just cracked and broken. That one's a good joint, except it's separated a little bit. That one's pulled this way a little tiny bit. But you see how round it is, and you can see pipe at the top, pipe at the bottom. So that one's pretty much in place. Back inside, you see the cracks. Okay, and that one's offset. That's that one they were saying is right here. That's this one that they were saying that they needed to fix. Okay, this one is offset, but it's not really offset any more than the other ones, than several of the other ones. There's the hose. Then that's broken. See the edge of it all jagged. Bit of an offset and a separation where they put the clean out together. But that's not much. Doing this, it would probably run about $1,600 because of the depth. Okay, $1,500 to $1,600. But it's not really worth it to do it. You're only going to fix one minor joint that, in my opinion, is not as bad as the rest. Here's what we got to decide. How long do you think you're going to stay in the house? Do you think you're going to stay here for a long time? Are you planning maybe moving? Are you?
I have to. But I'm not talking immediate. I'm talking in the next couple of years.
Okay, couple years. Okay. Couple years, here's what I recommend. I'm going to check that one in the front still, but with this one, hydrojet. Run a hydrojetter, which is high pressure water.
And they did.
No, they didn't.
I swear to you,
Okay.
I paid.
Whatever they did, okay,
I
can tell you now.
I'm just
I know,
telling
no, I
you.
know. Whatever they did, they just BS. No. If I hydrojet, I'll get this thing pretty clean.
Okay.
Almost whistle clean. Okay?
Okay.
There might be a few little pieces we can't get here and there, but I'll get it primarily clean. Then you start running a root retardant about every 4 months. Every 4 months, you flush a root retardant down the toilet, and I can teach you and show you how. Just you have to mix it up in a bucket and then pour it in dry. If you did that, you could get by for a couple years rather than replacing this. It needs to be replaced when you go into escrow. If anybody's smart enough and they have a camera guy over here, they're going to see this line needs to be replaced, and you'll have to deal with it at that point and give them a credit or whatever, which is probably better than having to come up with the money to shell it out to do this.
Thousands of dollars.
You're talking about probably about 8,000, 9,000, because of both lines. If it was only the one line, you'd be looking at maybe $4,500 to $5,000 because you got to saw cut and patch the concrete and everything. And you're going to have to do something in the street as well because that's not in good shape. They can put a liner in there. They can put a sewer liner. When you're doing this, might end up running another $4,000. So you're still looking at about $13,000. So this way, if you clean it and really hydrojet it real well, then you can start using the root retardant. You get by for 2 years.
And
There's no doubt.
How often would we need to do
The snake?
The hydro...
No.
high
Once.
pressure?
Once.
Just once.
I think just once. And then
the root retardant.
do the
every
root
4 months.
retardant every 4 months for a year after that, okay? And you do the hydrojetting. 4 months later, you use the root retardant. 4 months after that, 4 months after that. Then that third time you do the root retardant, maybe we can run a camera again and see what condition it's in. See if we do need to run another hydrojet. I don't think you would. As long as you hydrojet it real good, especially if we do get an El Nino, we get enough rain, and the roots aren't going to be going into the sewer much. They stop pretty much getting in there. It slows it down a lot. But the root retardant too, what it does, it doesn't stop the problem, but it gets into these joints and it burns the roots all the way back inside the joints. And these chemicals will sit in these cracks and in these joints long enough to where it slows it down a lot. They're not going to want to get in there because every time they go near this stuff, it's going to kill them. It's heavy-duty copper sulfate and several other chemicals, but copper sulfate primarily, and it just kills the roots.
So the snaking is different from the hydrojet?
Say it again? Yeah.
The snaking is different.
Yeah.
So we need to do that as well, or no?
No. If you hydrojet, you're going to clean these roots out really well.
Good.
You'll get them pretty. I mean, I don't know what they did, but for this joint, they ran the hydrojetter through here. There's no way. There's no way they did it right. Number one, a lot of guys come out here and what they do is they run a hydrojetter. They run a hydrojetter, and that's all they do. They push this thing through there.
Yeah.
We run a hydrojetter. We run a camera with it, so I can see exactly where the joints are, exactly where the roots, and we hit that area until we got it good and clean. We pull back the jetter and we check it, and then we go through again.
Is that something that we need to do inside the house as well, you think, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, if you want, we could get up on the roof. If we've got a roof vent right here, we could get up on the roof. You got bathroom right there, huh?
Yeah, I have 2 bathrooms on this side of the house.
Yeah. We could run the jetter through the vent just to here to check it and make sure that it's good and clear here too.
Okay.
And then run it from here, and then we'll check the front. I want to check the front. I got a feeling the front's just as bad, maybe even worse.
Okay.
So we run the front as well. Get the whole thing, and then you flush. You're going to end up, you got 2 different sides of the house. Let's see how bad that is. Whether we have to run root retardant through there too.
Although
you might have
they
to do it on
said
both
that
sides.
that side was pretty good, so I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
I don't believe it, but
I don't
believe it,
anything
but
anymore.
yeah,
Trust
I
you
know.
won't.
I don't believe it because you can see when we were pulling the camera back, those roots growing in from that Y side.
Yeah.
They didn't run a camera in there, I don't think, to see.
Okay.
When we run it, we'll see. We can look at it. That's why I always want people to look at this
Yeah.
in real time. I don't know if they did that with
No.
you. Most guys don't. They do their little thing.
And so, Michael, approximately, I know you have to
Yes.
figure it out, but approximately how much are we talking about?
Jetting anywhere from 565 to 865. Okay, it all depends how long it takes,
Yeah.
and because we got to do both lines more than likely. If we do both lines, if we do. Root retardant is $73 and change
So
for a
under
container of root
1,000.
retardant. Yeah. I want to look at this first. Let's see what that looks like.
Okay.
Because if that's not bad, this would probably be about 565.
Okay.
There's a lot of roots. It's going to take a while to
it's a
really
lot.
hit this and get it good.
My challenge, and this is something that you can do pretty quickly in terms of
early
planning,
next week.
because that's good because my son is getting married in November, and so I have house guests arriving in November, and I wanted to make sure I don't have an embarrassing situation.
Early next week.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know that you would even with that one spot that's about 80% restricted. So they ran small little blades and they chewed it at the bottom. So they've got enough of a flap to where things will probably go through. Maybe not. You have to be real careful too. I know it's not fun to warn your guests, but tell them they have to be careful with no feminine products.
Yeah.
Because anything like that, you're gonna have an issue.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an issue, which you don't want.
Okay.
So let me go get set up out in front.
Okay.
And then we'll check this
Appreciate
one
it.
real quick and see what it looks like.
Okay. I'm working away in my office. Just
Okay.
call when you need me. Thanks,
And I
Michael.
found one of those drain covers.
Oh, you-
The drain covers are about $23 a piece.
Okay.
Okay, which I hate to tell people. I mean, when I first bought it with the flat house, I just looked at the guy and shook my head. We're going to pause for a moment. We're going to move the equipment to the front of the house and run through the mainline clean out at the front of the house. Okay, we're set up at the front of the house. And now we're going to run through the front clean out and just take a look to the tie-in out by the driveway apron. See what this section of line looks like. For the house, our garage, and we're on this side of the driveway, closest to the garage is where our tie-in is. A little offset there, but no root intrusion at that point. That doesn't look too bad. Little cracks in the pipe, but nothing terrible there. That joint looks to be okay. And we have an offset here and crack in the face to the left. That joint looks okay. That joint has a crack right inside. You can see it, see the line going around it. Little tiny separation, minor root intrusion here. A little offset there, minor root intrusion here. And then we go down into this line. Not too. Makes a turn, and we have some heavier root intrusion here. A little bit of an offset, and then we have some heavier root intrusion here. And I believe this is coming. We're going to stop. We're going to go run water from the guest house area. Okay, we're going to pull this back now. I want to see where line was coming in for the guest house. And it looks like the line may be possibly just tying into the main house from the back. So it does tie into the main house in the back. And that concludes our video sewer.